kind of a sad memory that was just popping up in my head and I really want to talk about. It has to do with like when I was a kid and realizing that I was gay. That might be relevant to some of you. And also, even if you're straight, if you have kids around you, I think this is a good story to think about. Trigger warning for coming out processes and people judging you or whatever. But I think everyone needs to hear this message. Sorry if it's a little bit long. You can press 2 times on the screen if you need to fast forward. But it was just on my head right now. Share it with somebody who might need to hear this. Share this with somebody with kids, you know? Hi, I'm JeGaysus, and if you don't know, I'm gay. I came out when I was like 13, and that is against all odds. I was actually outed. But I have a story that popped up because I don't know if you knew, recently my uncle passed. He was young, he's only like 54, and it was very sad. But I just got back from his funeral in LA, and I was thinking about this memory of one of the first times I ever met him. I don't want to say it's a cautionary tale, but see, I was visiting in Tahoe, and I was there to see my grandpa, and a couple of my uncles were there. We kind of met in the middle, you know how family does. And I was probably 11 or so at the time, and I remember talking to my uncle and doing the casual thing that you do with kids that age, I guess, where you say, do you have a girlfriend at school yet? And I remember in that time already knowing that I was at least bi, but maybe gay, and I just froze, and I look around the room, there's my mom, my dad, my uncle, my other uncle, my grandpa, and everyone's just waiting patiently for an answer, and inside, I felt petrified. What do you say? You can't just come out right then and there. That's the feeling I want to talk about. That's the feeling I want to focus in on. I was feeling dread. They probably felt nothing. But this is where it gets worse, because my answer, of course, was no. And then there was a collective sigh of relief. And they say, oh, okay, that's fine. You'll wait. You're so cute. You're going to have to beat the girls off with sticks. And then my uncle, God bless him now, says, well, do you at least like girls? If you thought the dread was bad before, and you thought the collective silence of everyone waiting for an answer was uncomfortable before, now he asked me if I actually like girls? Given he's from LA, maybe he's a little bit more hip to the times, but I was like, you don't just ask an 11-year-old that. Jesus Christ. Oh, maybe you do. I don't know. But I was like, you can't just put kids on the spot like that. Not like before they've came out. I was mortified. So instantly, after a beat, I answered, of course. And then he goes, oh my God, thank God. And throws his hands up and exclaims like that. And the whole room goes, oh, right. Oh, right. And then he said, we've never had one of those in our family before. Here I am knowing damn well inside, I'm one of those. I don't even know if I had the word yet, but he said one of those. And I was like, I'm one of those. And it was in that moment that I realized, because everybody was agreeing and nodding and sighing and saying, oh, that's good. And just the actual exclamation from him himself that I could never come out. No. I'm like, well, this has been marked forever in my history as I do like girls, confirmed, and thank God I'm not one of those. Well, 2 years later, I was outed by the school, so that's fine. I didn't actually have to come out. That saved me, because I might have never came out on my own because of that moment. That moment was seared into my brain. Instead of being met with like an actual conversation about what homosexuality is, or like how it doesn't matter who you like, I was met with a, oh my God, thank God. And it's conversations like that stick in kids' brains. So this is why I say it's not just for the gay people out there that may relate to this. I want straight people out there to be thinking about this too, that your words have impact. Your words have meaning. How you interact or talk about stories on the news, how you talk about your neighbors, what your conversations are having, even though they might not be directed at your kids, or in this case it was directed at me, they will absorb that. And they will file that away for a future reference, and they will not want to come to you. They will not want to trust you. They will not want to seek information from you. And then you wonder why they get their information elsewhere. And you wonder why they don't come to you, or have I ever given you a reason to not love you? No, maybe not directly, but there's side conversations that we hear and we remember and we store for later. And they can be damning. And that's what's creating rifts between you and your kids and your family, and cousins and your nephews and your nieces. So be careful. Make sure that when you're talking, it's always in a positive, loving light about no matter what the situation is. Because God forbid, what if I were a serial killer? I don't know. But like, what if I needed help with something like a mental diagnosis? It could be anything. It doesn't have to be about being gay. I was fine. I love him. I lived with him for years. So, like, he accepted me fully once I was gay. But it's just the fact that I could have not been accepted. You know what I mean? He didn't give me the option to. As soon as I was gay, he's like, oh my God, I love that. Yay. But that's not his initial reaction. It wasn't, at least when I was a kid, you know? So it's like, always had that doubt. But I didn't have a doubt that he loved me. It's just one of those things. Again, pay attention. Okay, that's my long ramble.